PUBG just released their next roadmap, which we're going to see here starting with December of 2023, jumping into 2024. So we're going to see here the launch of Rondo, where they introduced the JS9 SMG. We're going to just zoom in on this guy up here. This thing is super broken, honestly, but it's a lot of fun. It's like a MP9 on steroids, or a P90 on steroids. Also bird cages, which is part of the pass, where you actually have to break a bird cage, and then also launch fireworks, which fireworks are pretty cool. If you look up in the air too, which a lot of people don't realize this, when you look up in the air and you watch it long enough, at the end of it, it actually has the symbol for it. So super cool. We've got the Rondo pass with some special drops. They're okay. I think this one right here, you would find a nice use for on Vikindi. Otherwise, I'm not super crazy about the special drops, but it is cool nonetheless. Let's jump into January. This is where things are going to get super interesting. Patch 27.2. You're going to see some things up here, the market system. So they're introducing this. This basically, to me, kind of looks like a mixture of Apex and Call of Duty style purchasing things. So Apex that has little tubes, I forget what they're called, but they're devices that look similar to this here. Call of Duty has a buy system where you collect stuff, like in Call of Duty it's cash. In PUBG it's going to be some coins, which I don't know if I have a picture of those, but you're going to collect some sort of coins that you're going to be able to use in the system. At least that's what it looks like. They're going to have different things you can buy. You can find these as well. I'll see if I can find a picture here of the Rondo map. You can find them on a certain area of the map. So I'll see if I can save this super quick and pop this up on screen here, chat. On the Rondo map, if you go to the water areas, you're going to be able to see they have a couple of them. I think it's down in this area down here. I believe specifically on that ship. Well, that's not a very good map. But right on this special area right here in Rinjiang. I'm assuming in some other places as well, but this is where the one that I know of is. Right there next to the hand. You're going to be able to use your coins or use your in-game market system to unlock stuff. And it's different things like weapons, other equipment, probably like level 3 gear. If you actually go there, you can see it in the game right now. I just realized my camera's in the way here, so I'll make sure that I keep this nice and zoomed out. I believe it looks like this one right here is in Ranjing or Renjing. So look out, keep an eye out for those because they're gonna come in handy later on. So that'll be exciting. I actually kind of like that. It's kind of like an unlock system that you see in other maps. It's kind of like the secret room in a way, but it's something you collect. At least it appears to be something that you collect and then you can use to buy stuff. Very cool. Apex has one where you get different points that you can then go and spend at like a market that looks similar to this. Actually looks just like this one right here. Where you can unlock certain guns, special guns that have all the equipment on them. Next, we're going to see Garage and Pillar US. So this, for OG players, this is not a Pillar US. This is actually the first armored vehicle in PUBG. It was super fun. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, it's going to be the short as a celebration that I release. It's a really cool video that I'm really excited to show you guys, but it's going to be a little while before that comes out on YouTube. But the video actually has this vehicle in it, and I'm super excited to share that with you guys. But they've kind of redone it a little bit. They made it all black and added the pillar image onto it. I'm excited about it. Honestly, it's a really cool car. Back in the day, it was called in via a like a flare gun, essentially, before the BDRM was introduced. So I'm super excited about it. From this picture right here, we're going to try to zoom in on this a little bit, but obviously these pictures are not going to be the best quality. So you can see the vehicle right there, which we don't know at this point if that's the only place you're going to be able to find the vehicle. Because right now, depending on when you shoot a flare off, you might get a BDRM or a care package. And if you do get a BDRM, they may replace the BDRM with this vehicle in general. So something that we may see. From the video, the live video, if you guys watched that trailer for Rondo, it did hint that there might be AI here. If you watch it, there's people moving around in the video. We saw that on Haven, which, you know, some people might like or dislike Haven. Regardless, Pubg actually put out that it was the least favorite map for Pubg players, which is why you don't see it in rotation right now. I think part of that, or a major part of that, is the AI, which in Haven specifically, there's a helicopter if you're running around outside that puts a light on you. It's very easy to spot, and it's super annoying, and you can't see anything when you have the helicopter pointing a light at you, and it doesn't go away. It's always there until you go under cover or something, and then the helicopter flies away and goes to bother somebody else. In addition to that, they also have a armored UAS that has a gun turret on the top that shoots at you, and that will kill you, which is super annoying. Wasn't a good ad, personally, in my opinion, for Haven. The third part to that is there was AI in different sections of the map, different commanders you could fight, which I thought was kind of interesting. It was an interesting ad. I think some people really enjoyed it. A lot of other people hated it. It's, you know, it's one of those things that you either love or hate, right? But regardless, we may see them do something similar here with the garage, because they are pillar related. This is a reintroduction of the pillar UAS, which they've renamed from the original one, which was green. I'm super excited about it. It was a fun vehicle. You cannot shoot out or peek out of the vehicle at all. It's just a really heavily armored UAS. And yes, back in the day, you could shoot someone out of it. It was not 100%. It was very proof, but you could do it. Next, something that I'm super excited for. One of my biggest dislikes of Rondo is there's just a ton of open area. And I mean a ton. There's a ton of open area. I realized afterwards that I think this is actually intentional by the Pubg devs for when they release this thing here, which is basically a big stone triangle that's more like a cube. These would be used in like the military to stagger a road, so that if I got to be careful how I word this so that it doesn't get flagged on YouTube, but to stop a vehicle that has carrying explosives from getting into a base, they would stagger these things or something that's similar to this alongside of a road, so that you had to slow down and curve around the road versus being able to drive straight at it at a high speed, right? Another way of looking at these things is they look like giant cement blocks. There's some wraps on it, which could mean that they're like, they look like they're dropped in by parachutes, basically. They look like they're straps for a parachute. I don't think they're anything more than that, but it looks like very thick cover from the trailer. And just from looking at the picture here, these are awesome. Like, I'm very excited about this. This is basically, in a nutshell, you're going to be able to throw one of these on the ground. An emergency plane is going to fly over and drop these things out, which we don't know if they're going to have like parachutes on them. I think they do in the video, but they're going to come down and they're going to be able to give you cover in the open. I don't think they're destructible either. They look like they're massive, heavy bricks that you can't move, you can't shoot through. I think it's a really cool addition to Pubg. Very, very cool. Battle Ready Kit. There's been a lot of rumors on this one. What is this thing? In the video, this thing is in the middle of a group of players. To me, what that tells us is that it's a med kit that's on the ground, meaning if you need to heal up, you can turn around and look at the kit and use the kit and heal up, that you don't have to use your meds inside your backpack. That's what I get out of it. And maybe it does like a full heal. So my theory on it is that it's like a med kit where it'll heal you to 100%. There does look to be like a syringe-like thing here, so maybe it's something boost related. But I firmly believe this is either an AoE, which is an area of effect heal, so you can heal multiple people at the same time. Maybe something that they heal over time, which would be a couple thoughts. So in Call of Duty, you can drop an ammo box on the ground or an armor plate box on the ground. on the ground, every player can pull like one stack of armor out of it or one stack of ammo out of it. I think it's going to be something very similar to that, honestly. But I think it's going to be medkit related. We'll see. We'll see who's right on that one. A lot of theories though. Then you've got the EMP zone. They have really said nothing about this other than I really firmly believe it's literally what it says, an EMP zone. So if you're using a jammer pack, that's going to get jammed, basically. Your jammer pack's going to get jammed. Otherwise, you might see maybe your compass flickers or something like that, something along that line. It's going to be one of those two things. It also probably means that the new electronic vehicle, which we'll talk about in a second, probably doesn't work inside that zone. I mean, in theory, that would make sense, right? But I think that's what it is. Got some special drops, schematics. You definitely want to grab those. Super rare, and it's very cool that they're finally putting schematics in. We deserve it. You know, a lot of people support this game. It's a good way for them to give back to the players in the Contraband system. We've got EV charging stations. It's just a gas station. I'm assuming it's going to explode and probably never go out because those things are dangerous. Gas stations, that is, when they blow up. And then we got the new bus, which basically looks like an elevated way to get shot out of a vehicle super quick. This is probably, based on the design here, I would say it's probably the easiest way to die if traveling in a vehicle. So be mindful of that when you're traveling in a Pico bus. Co-op climbing. Another really cool thing. This is going to completely change the dynamic of everything. You could have a player who's coming back after being called back in, that climbs under a roof that's hard to get onto, or you just jump out of a plane, right? You jump out of a pickup plane, you land on a roof, and your teammate needs to get up. You can help them up. That's what this clearly looks like. Ironically, this is on Erangel, and you can actually climb onto this truck or this container without a teammate. But I think they're just trying to use it as an analogy. So if you're basically on a roof that you can't just jump up onto, you can jump and a teammate can grab you. And assuming they can pick you up, probably takes like 10 seconds, but they're going to pick you up and help you climb onto the roof. I'm actually super for this. I think it's really cool. We're definitely going to hear the people, who you are, that like to whine about the rooftop campers. Whatever, it's part of the game. It's going to be part of the strategy. In Counter-Strike, you have people doing stacks and different stack throws where you launch someone up onto a certain pixel so they can get an off angle. Like Apex, you got the same thing where you can launch people in certain ways. PUBG, this is a really common or really basic way of saying let's evolve the game, and I think it's going to be really cool. I think it's good. It's good for the game because in real life, if you climb up on something and somebody is, let's say, too short and you can't get up, you can help them up, right? Why would you not help them up? So it makes perfect sense. Next here, we got vehicle parkour. This is one of my frustrations. It drives me nuts. Where you're trying to get on a roof of a building, let's say, and you have to pull up, like take Dustin. You have to drive up onto the cement just a little bit so that you can then jump up onto your car to then jump up onto the roof. Now you can actually climb on your vehicle, which is honestly, it's common sense. You should have been able to do it from the get-go, but they're adding it into the game. One thing to be mindful of this is the vehicles themselves are likely going to have a square hitbox. So be mindful of that when you're shooting at it or when you're shooting at people in the vehicle, what that actually means. In addition to how the vehicle would hit you if you got hit by a vehicle, though the mechanics on that have changed for some while, so I'm not sure if we're going to really see a big impact there. But very cool. I think it's time. This will also, much like the co-op climbing, is going to be able to really expand and evolve the game and allow you to get on places that you wouldn't normally get. Super exciting. I like this map overall. I think there's a lot of cool stuff in here, especially the market system. It adds a little extra fun, something to do. It's not just looting. You can then find stuff from what it looks like. You're going to be able to find little coins. Gives you something extra to do. If they end up doing AI like they have on Haven, it'll give you another task that you can do. The map is massive. It is huge, right? And it's a little bit too big. You can easily run around for 15 minutes and never hear a gunshot. So I think this will allow players to find some other things to do. You got your emergency cover, which is going to be fantastic for the mass open areas that are in the game. And EMP zones are gonna cause a little bit of havoc. I personally would be a-okay if they completely got rid of red zones. I think they're called black zones on Karakin, the map that seems to never come up in rotation anymore, despite the fact that it's in map pool. But black zones are not as annoying as red zones. I think red zones should be just, removed. It's one of those annoying things that's always been there. But overall, cool roadmap, something I'm excited about. I hope you guys are too. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and come say hi on Twitch. We'll catch you later. Take care.